good evening everybody. I'd like to thank the University of Melbourne and the Australian Intercultural Society for hosting what I think we all agree has been a wonderful, wonderful evening. And just out of pure self-interest, as a breakfast TV presenter who has to be out at 3 o'clock tomorrow morning, any dinner that starts at 5:30 gets my vote. But what a great room. What a great room. I was just sharing with my table mates my view, and it was a view shared about Melbourne being, I've lived in Sydney and other parts of Australia, I reckon the most culturally inclusive, the most diverse, the most tolerant city in Australia. And I don't think that's an exaggeration at all. I think we all are all privileged to be Melburnians, and looking around at this crowd tonight and the people who comprise it makes me feel even prouder to be a Melburnian. So it was great seeing you all here tonight. I'm not a Muslim, but I have observed Ramadan now for many years from a distance and up close at events like these, iftars. I have the tremendous privilege to go to a few home iftars over the years at Ahmed's and Zulay's house a couple of years ago, at Lufaya and Mustafa's house only last week. Wonderful food, wonderful conversations. We've solved the problems of the world around the table. But for me, every iftar, every event like this, every other interaction with Muslims over Ramadan enriches my knowledge of the Islamic faith. It grows me further as a human being, and I know that Muslim families I've met at the iftars, in holding those iftars and inviting non-Muslims over, they feel a bit more connected, a bit closer, a part of the broader Australian community. So it's a great thing on both sides of the equation. Iftars and all the associated events over Ramadan are also great for their inclusivity, breaking down barriers. I think society has become a bit more polarised over the last couple of years. It's been a very, very tough couple of years, we all know that. People have been on edge, people are a bit angrier for very good reason. Lots of polarisation. You just have to hop on Twitter for 5 minutes to get a good understanding of that. Events like this will break that down, events like home iftars and all the associated events over Ramadan. I'd like to finish by reflecting on, again, just how privileged we are as not just Melburnians but Australians as a tolerant society. I went to France a couple of months ago for the ABC to cover the French election, but particularly focus on the rise of the far right in France. Very big political force, it has been for decades, and it's causing lots of problems. The Muslim community there is persecuted. I spent some time with Muslim community leaders and families and some people on, heard their struggles and heard how they were threatened by people. I reported on far-right candidates, one of whom was this prominent TV personality who bombed out, thankfully, towards the end of the campaign, but got a lot of support for promises like banning the use of the name Muhammad. He wanted to ban parents from using Muhammad. The other main far-right candidate, Marine Le Pen, who ended up losing to Emmanuel Macron, avowedly anti-immigrant, avowedly anti-Islam. She wanted to ban the wearing of the hijab in public. So it's a big problem over in France, it's a big problem in other countries, this lack of cohesion, this lack of acceptance. And coming back to Australia, it's always a great experience. Just travelling as a tourist to come back to Australia, we know that. But coming back to Australia after that experience, covering that story and speaking to those people over there made me feel even more grateful to live in such a tolerant, open and welcoming society to people of all faiths and all cultural backgrounds. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight.